Okay, so we're off air.
Well, we've still got it.
Are we on air? Oh, wait. I see us. I see we're back. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we're
are.
coming back.
Looks like Periscope is still working though. It shows that we're live.
Yeah, we never.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we still had an open-ended stream. It's just our broadcast source crashed.
Ah,
Wirecast just decided to all of a
kill
sudden
us.
stop with a fatal application error.
we're
So
back. So should we do it again? Should we play it all over?
we went through most of it. That's okay.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, it froze. We know. I don't know what happened. We actually almost didn't get on because Wirecast was kind of like being,
Okay. Yeah, and so I lost our recording as well.
oh.
So as far as
Well, let's ask the audience. Do you guys want us to play this again?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying here, on-air production, normally from the local recording,
Oh.
we take the audio that we load up for the audio podcast,
Ah,
but that got interrupted, so
that's all right.
not going to have that anymore.
We can just download the video and rip it
Yeah.
from there. Hello. Thank you guys for wishing us happy anniversary. Okay, so do you guys want us to do the slideshow again and play the song? Put a 1 if you do. Okay, if you missed it. What was with the cake photo? The cake photo.
Well, we had a couple,
Well, we
it
had a
was
wedding cake.
Weird, orientated strangely because of what it is. The cake wasn't the photo of the photo, if that's what you're asking. It was,
Yeah, we had Mickey and Minnie Mouse on top of our wedding cake.
yeah,
In case you didn't know that.
our cake topper
and
was
actually
a
today
Mickey and Minnie.
I
bride and groom.
I actually would not put Mickey and Minnie on my cake today, but back
Right.
then I did.
But it was unique.
they're putting ones. They want to see the pictures again.
Okay.
All right, so we'll play this.
And hopefully this won't crash again.
Okay, so the song is cutting the cake. Yeah, we were just having fun there.
Oh yeah, that was just because you're supposed to both take the knife and cut it together, and I was just goofing around.
Yeah,
just
he actually got cake on my dress, by the way.
Yeah.
When he missed my mouth, it was like the first marital act, exchanging the cake and.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just
By the way, we do.
I
have
was just playing up like we were fighting over the knife. Like give me that. Let me cut it now, because you're supposed to cut it together.
Right.
I don't know, just the comedian in me trying to.
Yeah.
If you were there, it came off as that, but it's a still picture. You don't know what's going on.
Okay, tell me when you're ready. I'll start playing the song one more time.
I guess I'm ready.
Okay,
and
ready?
hopefully, if it crashes again, it crashes. So.
All right. Well, okay. So here we go. These are probably some of the best file footage photos of our wedding. Just so you know. Okay, on 2.
Not really, but.
And Randall wrote this song for me, by the way. He's talking about me in this song. He actually sang this song to me at our wedding. So, I'm trying not to cry because it was so sweet.
Sometimes love doesn't come when you want it, or the way that you think it should be. Perhaps the way that you're looking makes it difficult to see. But then you came along.
Yeah, I did.
When it seems that the Lord thought was best.
Look how young our hands are.
And it's better than I dreamed.
That was several seconds ago.
Oh.
Taken by surprise, I didn't see.
Can they hear us?
in your
Yes.
eyes.
Okay. Thank you, Tommy.
God would have you share your heart with me. Taken by surprise, I'm still amazed as time goes by that you're here beside me. Taken by surprise. Oh, sometimes I'm afraid of happiness, thinking that it will probably end. Is there really such thing as true love?
That was my mom.
In a trustworthy
One of the
friend?
few pictures I have of my mom smiling with me.
You've never let me down. and I know that you're trusting in Him.
Of course, you were seeing this in real time. It helped.
And it's safe to give my heart again. Taken by surprise, I'm starting to see.
That was him actually singing the song.
That God would have you
Okay.
share your heart with me. Taken by surprise, I'm still amazed as time goes by. That you're here beside me, taken by surprise.
Oh, tilt it back the other way. I can't see it.
Taken by
I see your keyboard.
Now I can see it in your eyes. That God would have you spend your life with me. Taken by surprise, I'm still amazed
I
as
can't
time
see.
goes by. That you're here beside me, taken by surprise. You're here beside me, taken by surprise.
Yes, and that was my dad. He was see,
66 at the time.
so 26 years ago, yeah, so.
Or 60, 64. Yeah, 64 at the time.
No,
Yeah.
I think he was 74.
No,
No.
64.
He's 40 years older than me. I was 23.
Right?
So 60. Okay, so yeah, 64. Wow, that was my dad when he was 64. Yes, thank you guys for wishing us a happy anniversary. That song still chokes me up because especially today, you know, 2.5 decades later, you know, it's pretty cool. So, and it's so funny to see for me how God has taken you know, us on a journey of 10,000 steps and more, you know. As you guys could notice, I have a lot lighter hair color now than I did when I got married. We both actually wore glasses. If you saw that one picture of me sitting on Randall's lap, that was actually before we got married. That was like a pre-engagement photo that we took.
Oh,
And-
that was actually a promo photo.
Was it a promo? That was a promo photo. I guess you could throw up some of these individually now and look at it.
I can try to. Let me see if I just break this out.
You guys have any questions or
Oh,
comments? We have both aged well. Yeah, I think so. And I think if Randall didn't have his facial hair like this beard, he would probably look younger than me again because, you know, just saying both of our parents actually are very were very you know, I mean, my dad's 90, he doesn't look it in real life. The thing that makes my dad look old today is his dementia and Parkinson's because he's got a little bit of a flat affect with the Parkinson's.
Yeah, so
So-
that's
And-
right now is you and your dad as he walked you down the aisle. He was 64 then.
Yeah. So how did we meet? We actually met in church. I actually was on my way to therapy. I was getting ready to start therapy with with my very first therapist actually, and and I lived in a different county. I drove down to Orange County. I took a left turn. No, I took a right turn instead of a left turn. And I went up the street, and there was this church there, and I was like, I need to figure out where I'm going for this therapy. And that was actually on a Saturday. It's very interesting how this happened. And long story short, I ended up moving down into Orange County, and I just prayed, and I said, Lord, you know, I'm just going to go to that church tomorrow, and I don't know anybody there. I don't know anybody out here. And anyway, I showed up at this church, and Randall was the usher. He was wearing a white shirt, red tie, and black pants. I jokingly say he kind of looked like a Mormon, you know. But he was standing there. He was the usher. He was also a singles pastor in the singles group at the time.
Sort of, kind of.
He invited me to a volleyball game, and after I went to Sunday school, and we went to the volleyball game, and then afterwards we went out to Millie's restaurant.
Yeah,
And
that's correct.
And I sat down on the bench, and he came over. He started talking to me, and the Lord said to me, "This is going to be your husband to be." So I knew pretty much the day that I met him, he was going to be my husband. Randall was clueless. He had no idea. Probably a good thing. Yeah, so that's actually how we met. God just ordered your steps that day. He did. He did, and he has ordered my steps numerous times since then. Hey, Paul, I don't know if you're still watching, but if you are, hi. Yeah, he has done that. So, and then what really kind of got us, connected was music. And a couple of days ago, over the weekend, I actually was goofing off playing my guitar over on my Facebook page, and all these people were like, "I didn't know you did this," and I'm like, "What do you mean you didn't know I did this?" So why don't you tell that part? Because then I don't have to talk the whole time.
Which part?
About the music and how we connected with music.
Oh,
He did. Aw. Jerry Jo's saying her husband knew when he saw me too.
Oh, that's good.
Cool.
So, as sort of a lay minister of the singles group, I was offered the position of singles pastor, but I was younger than most people in that group. So,
By the way, he was 28 when we got married. I was 23. I turned 24 a few months later.
yeah. So anyway, so one of the things I did within the singles group is we had a monthly prayer and praise time, usually hosted at someone's house, and usually the same house. Anyway, so I led that time of prayer and praise, and during one of those nights after the time of, I think it was both the prayer and the praise, Stacy had asked to borrow my guitar because she wanted to share a song. And I said, sure, go for it. Just felt like the Spirit was in it. And so she played one of her original songs, the song you may know, "You Are My Strength." A simple song, but a spiritual song. And so I really liked it when I heard it, that, I was moved by it. And I said, hey, I'd like to get together and record that song, produce it, get a recording of it. And anyway, so long story short, she did, and we got together. And for a short time, we did a very, very small tour of a few churches. And this photo that you saw earlier, this was like our publicity photo for our little duo that we called Joyfully Yours. And anyway,
this was so before we got married.
Yes.
We nicknamed our group. We called ourselves Joyfully Yours. Does
Right.
that fit? What do you think? Do you think that fits still?
so yeah, it was her and her guitar, and me and my machines, and back in the days of I put my desktop computer, the big CRT monitor, and my synthesizer to do the backing tracks, and my Roland D10. And,
Well,
we hit the road.
Okay, we have to tell how that happened, though. Okay, so I was working a job at a place called Church Growth Development International, and I had actually applied for a job at Focus on the Family. I was getting ready to go to that job at Focus on the Family because I worked at Focus when they were in Pomona, when Dr. Dobson was, still there in California, because that's where we met. But we met and got married, and the guy that hired me at this place called Church Growth Development International, he hired me to do telemarketing to churches so that I could set up appointments so that they could go in and pitch a fundraising program. And what's interesting is that as I talked, you know my friend Vicky, right? Vicky Fitch. She always talks about how she's the original telemarketer. I probably was doing it at the same time she was, except she was younger. But I actually worked at telemarketing for a while, and that was what I did. I actually called these churches up, got
But
through
she's a little bit older than you, so how can it be at the
That's
same time?
You better not say that in front of her.
All right. Not much, but
anyway, the funny thing is, I had to get through the gatekeeper, which was the church secretary, or receptionist. And once I got to talking to the pastors, all of these pastors really liked me, and they're like, "What do you do?" And they would strike up a conversation, and I said, "Oh, I play music," and blah blah. And I actually started having some of these pastors just say, "Hey, why don't you come and sing at our church?" And I told Randall, I said, this was before we were married, and so I was like, "What do you think? You want to do this?" Because I literally kept getting invited. And you have to understand, nobody knew how I sounded. They never heard me sing. They never heard me play my guitar, nothing. And so they were like, "Yeah, just come and do it." And so we did this, and it was really interesting because me and Randall were like, "Okay." So we just get in the car and we drive to these churches, and we'd set up and we'd sing, and that was it, So yeah, the last gig we did, though, I think is kind of why we ended the tour, because it was a church. It was so funny. This church, I don't even remember where it was or who the pastor was, but it was his retirement party. The church was packed out, and it was back in the day.
I think it was Foothill something rather. It was like way up.
Yeah. Well, it was back in the day, though, when everybody was singing cassette tapes.
Right, backing tracks.
Backing tracks like Amy Grant had "In a Little While." You'll be with the Father.
Well, there were several
Different ones. Anyway, so I was singing some of those songs, but then we were also doing our own stuff, and the sound guy was absolutely atrocious at this church. He didn't know what the heck he was.
It wasn't the best setup. They had one monitor. One monitor speaker, which was mounted at the ceiling, pointing down at the stage. I mean, that's fine. It's better than none at all, so you can hear yourself. Because when you're behind the main speakers, you can't hear what's going out. So in order to stay in sync, with your stuff, you need to hear the monitors. So, but he didn't have it up very high. We kept asking, turn it up, because we couldn't hear. And then we'd find that, we'd finish a song, and then we'd hear the end of it, in the auditorium after we stopped singing. It's like, oh wow, we're way out of sync with our own stuff, because it was programmed. It was MIDI, so
yeah.
So we had anyway. So
what I remember is they didn't give us a love offering and pay us.
Anyway, yeah,
that's what I remember.
But just to share this at the end, so here with the program stuff, the sequence stuff, we were off time because we couldn't hear it. And then so finally, Stacy did a track, sang to one of these accompaniment tapes, a cassette tape, and I thought, well, at least we can redeem ourselves, because she won't be playing her guitar, we won't have anything on stage, she'll be able to hear just what's in the monitor, and so the sound tech, he starts the tracking tape like a couple seconds in, and it goes, and then it's already in the song, already halfway in the intro, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, this is
so that's a lesson learned.
What I thought was the redeeming moment turned out to be just as bad as the rest of it.
Well, anyway, so we did do that for a while, not a long time, but we did do it. And it's one of the fun facts about our pre-marriage relationship, because the music is really what connected us, and yet we've had interesting experiences in churches with that. Randall has played on numerous worship teams. I have been targeted, I don't know why, by numerous people, and I'm like, I don't know what your problem is.
Targeted, like with a target on your back?
I don't know, but I did lead women's worship for a while, and it was a number of years into our marriage that I actually wrote. I've written probably at some point, probably close to 100 songs, and the funny thing is most of them I can't play now, but we did do a CD. Randall actually produced a whole CD, and we actually used to sell it, and all that. And two of the songs are actually on YouTube. You can actually go listen to them on YouTube. They're very raw. They're just me and guitar. One of them is arranged. That's "You Are My Strength," and all that. But anyway, so that's a little bit about our musical background. And by the way, I don't have a musical background. I taught myself guitar. And I took one semester of piano where at the end of the class, they actually told us that we could play piano with chords. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me that in the beginning? I could have just played chords like I do on my guitar. But anyway, and I've always sang. I love to sing. I think I have a extraordinary voice. Not that I think it's super great.
Second that.
But I do. And I don't say that boastfully at all. I've been told that my whole life. In fact, when I was in high school, and I joined choir, they actually bumped me up to chamber choir, and they would not do that with freshmen because it was only for juniors and seniors. And I got to sing. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of the Mission Inn in Riverside, California, but Mission Inn is it's a historical landmark, and they actually had a concert there, and only the best singers from all over the county were able to come. And because even though I was a freshman, I was allowed in to go and sing there. It was actually, there was a write-up in the paper. My picture was in the paper and everything, as one of the youngest singers there. So I I think I sing well, but I know it's God's gift. It's not because I'm so great. And Randall's voice has actually gotten better over the years.
Yep. A lot of in the car practice. and some choral practice as well.
Yeah, I cannot sing as high as I used to because my voice obviously has changed as I've gotten older. So, yeah, we are talking about ourselves today. Unlike every other day.
I can actually sing higher than I used to.
Yeah, that's
just
good.
because I've been, been in small ensembles where there wasn't any tenors, and so whereas I'm more comfortable with baritone, I've had to push it and sing tenor parts.
Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say that I had people when they first heard me sing, like, look at me like, that's you, because they know the outspoken vocal activist part of me. That's and then all of a sudden it's like I start singing and there's this angel show up and I'm not. That's what my friend Marguerite told me. She goes, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea. What happened to you?" So it's kind of funny. Anyway.
There's some folks we probably ought to mention before the time slips away from us.
All right, go for it.
All right. Well, the first folks that I want to mention are the folks over at Ariel Ministries. You can find them online at ariel.org. That's ARIEL.org for you audio listeners only. And they've got some great resources from a Messianic Jewish perspective, i.e. a biblical perspective. And, well, let me throw myself back up while I reconfigure my screen capture that I lost when we there we go, when we lost our outgoing stream. Here we go. Over at BibleNewsRadio.com, hit the resources page, and you will see several resources there. A lot of them from Ariel Ministries, including one of the Come and See series books, Yeshua, Divine Redeemer, Christology from a Messianic Jewish Perspective. I should check that out. And if your wallet is kind of tight right now, there on the resources page in top row, you'll find a free Bible study titled "Why is God Saving Gentiles Today?" It's free for the download.
It's usually not, though. Usually you got to pay for that one.
Right, but for the remainder of this month, it's free. Study by Dr. Arnold G. Fruchtenbaum. No email required. Just click the link to download to your device, and that's your gift from Ariel Ministries through us. And if you've seen the resources on our site or on their site, ariel.org, remember all the time, use the coupon code Bible News and save 20% on anything anytime. And that can really add up, savings there. So I encourage you to do that. Let's see, anything else that you want to mention, my love?
Yes, actually, if you want to be a pillar of our community, first of all, I want to thank all of you guys who are current pillars. We call you pillars because you are the ones who donate to us. You give us a little bit of money to help us pay for what we do here, which I really appreciate, by the way. And so if you want to become a monthly donor, you can set up a PayPal recurring payment over there on our website as well. It doesn't matter what amount. At one point, it was $25 we were suggesting every month. We are not a nonprofit because, frankly, we can't afford to be one. And also because, just because I really don't feel called to be one, actually. That's a big part of it, too, because it seems like that particular piece has never been taken care of. So those of you who do donate, we try to give you a special audio piece or just different ways to thank you from, being on top of this. And then, of course, those of you who know, we have Legal Shield. That is my side gig to help continue to earn money. And, last night I actually decided I think I'm going to do this at least once a week, maybe twice. I'm not sure. Last night I did an impromptu Zoom call that people can jump in on with me, and I could go over what the product of Legal Shield is with identity theft protection, and also how to be an associate with Legal Shield. So if you want to know anything about that, just get in touch with me. The services are great. I talk about them all the time. Especially if you're in business or you have a big family. I mean, I think it's good for everybody, just so you know. So you can go to bit.ly/protectme. And you can learn more. You can text me, you can message me all over the internet. I'm not hard to get, okay? Carmen sat in last night, and so did Paul, for a long time actually. And I went through the whole presentation, and I am literally a half point away from becoming manager. I jumped the gun just a little teeny wee bit. I was like, yay, I became a manager. But nope, I still got one sale I got to make before I'm manager. And that's on the commission scale. But I'm pretty sure I'll get it. Pretty hope by the end of the month. They're having a special, see, this is what people need to understand. They're actually having a special with the associates this month where they are cutting basically the requirements to earn commissions in half. And so they're trying to get people to advance to manager, which is the third tier in Legal Shield. And the way that they're doing that is by saying instead of having 15 signups, personal signups, you only need 10, or you need to have 3 associates and 6 memberships as opposed to 3 and 15. So here is something you should know too. If you're actually thinking about becoming an associate, this month would be a good month to do it, especially if you think that you can sign up some people fast that are already in your warm market to get on your team, because the faster you do it, and if you can do it before the end of this month, then the more likely you're going to get to manager. You could actually get to manager this month yourself, and that would super rock, because the difference between manager and senior manager is 35 memberships. So it's going to take quite a while between that commission increase. It's basically your raise. You're working for a raise. So that's just something to think about. All right. So I didn't pull any identity theft stories today because I don't need to do that on my anniversary. But Legal Shield is definitely something I'm going to talk about because I love it. All right. And then what was the other thing? I think that was the other thing. The other thing is, if you guys want to donate to our Prophecy Watchers fund to help fund our trip to Oklahoma, where we're going to get to be with Gary Stearman and Bob Ulrich and all of the top prophecy conference speakers right now from the pre-trib particular version, then just drop us a donation and say, hey, put this towards your trip. Right now we got about $100 towards that. We're trying to get $1,500 because it's going to cost us about that much to get there. So, anything you can give is awesome, just so you know. All right. All right. So it looks like we have about 3 minutes, at least on my clock, but I don't know for real if that's real. Do you guys have any questions or comments? Do you want to share any wisdoms from marriage or anything? Just so you know, Randall did buy me some beautiful flowers. They're downstairs, and we are going to have dinner, just so you know, if you're wondering what we're going to do. And, yeah, anyway. Do you want to throw up the picture of me and my mom?
Yeah, I can do that. Give me a moment.
I talk about my mom all the time, even though she's been with the Lord for 16 years. Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. My mom was not a very nice person. I mean, she was very abusive, actually. But when I was going through the photo album earlier today, and I saw this picture, this is one of the only pictures I have of me and my mother smiling. And my mom is considerably darker than I am. She's short like me, but that was my mom before she got cancer. I think she got cancer I'm not really sure when. But anyway, it's so funny because some people say that I look a lot like my mother. I don't think I look anything like my mom.
Some.
A
There are
little,
some.
my eyes, I think from my eyes up, but she looks Jewish, doesn't she?
Maybe a little bit,
I
yeah.
think she does look a little bit Jewish. I would have never thought my mom was Jewish, but that is my mom. My mom actually dyed her hair, so I don't know what her well when she was dying, it was gray actually, but she was a looker for sure. That's what I've been told. And yep, and anyway. So for those of you who wanted to see a picture of me and my mother, that's one of the only ones I have actually. So, it's kind of nice to see. She almost didn't make it to our wedding because she threatened to disrupt my wedding, and yeah, we literally had bodyguards at our wedding ready to throw her out if she decided to. It's a sad story. It really is.
Bouncers, anyway.
We did, yeah. They were bouncers. So anyway. Yeah, but that was one of the happy
How did you
memories.
come in here without a wedding garment?
I know. Well, the sad thing is that my mom tried to upstage me at my own wedding, and we told her that if she did, that was it. She'd be thrown out, and yeah, lucky for her, she didn't. So I know it's sad, isn't it, Tommy? Everybody has something. And Randall's mom was not living when we got married, but she. Interestingly, I met her in the hospital when she was sick, and she knew that I was going to marry Randall the first time she met me, and she gave me her blessing, which was completely weird, actually. It's very strange. So she was actually 50, and what was it she had? She was having surgery for something.
Yeah, pulmonary thrombosis. And she did have surgery. The surgery was a success, but she had cardiac arrest following several hours after surgery.
Yeah. Bled out.
No.
No, she didn't bled. She didn't. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. And at the time, my dad, when he was walking me down the aisle, I didn't know my dad at that time. That was This was the only time in my life my dad actually showed up for anything. And it's so funny because you look at, these pictures and I look at it and it's so funny to look back on it now and it's like, yeah, he didn't know me at all. My dad had no clue. He didn't know me. He had a whole life separate from me and my brother. And now here it is 26 years later. My dad, I take care of the guy because he's 90, he's got dementia and Parkinson's and he completely, that man in that picture is not who I take care of today. That was somebody that was,
Should I put it back up?
well, I'm just seeing it now over here on
I know,
Periscope, but anyway, yeah, so first of all, he's standing up straight in that picture. Yeah, so it is interesting to see how life takes you, But he's always been a very sweet man. And I couldn't even tell you who half the people in the background of that picture are. Anyway. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? You just found out your husband Tom needs open heart surgery. Oh no, that's not good. Well, we'll definitely pray for him too. You accepted the Lord on 8/2. That's awesome. Well, welcome to the family. That's awesome. I'll write that down for you. Okay, oh, the other thing too is if you want to go ahead and join our text message little thingy, then you can text the word, you can text the word Bible News to the number 33222. So it's 2 3s and 3 2s. So 33222. Right? I think you put that up right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So do that. I will go ahead. I will send you a message. Probably in the morning with a little encouragement, and then I'll send you an afternoon message with right before our show to let you know when we're coming on, so you can get that. And also those of you who are already on that list, do me a favor, send me a message with your name, because this was not set up with the ability to put a person's name in. So when I'm responding to most of you, I'm like, who is this person I'm responding to? I don't even know who they are unless they put because I don't know all your phone numbers. So just send me a text with your name. That way I know who it is. And then I want to also remind you. Oh, go ahead.
Can they send a text to that same number or
Yeah, they can just respond to the text I sent.
Okay.
And just say, hey, it's me, so and so.
Gotcha.
And then I have it. So it's a pretty cool service. I like it. So, and this, just a reminder, Friday in 2 days, Vicki Fitch will be our guest here on Bible News Radio. Vicki is going to join us, and we're going to talk about her mission that she's on from God right now. Because Vicki is on a mission from God. So make sure that you join us on Friday, because it's going to be fun. It'll be fun. Hey, Denise. All right. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Do you want to make any comments or anything besides what you've already said or whatever, Bareface?
No, I'm good to go.
You're good to go. Yeah, let me out. Let me out of here. All right. All right. So how should we end the show? See, there's so much you don't know. See, the other thing is we actually played that song, Stephen Courage Chapman's songs, I Will Be There.
Here.
That one. I will be here.
Yeah.
Here. That song.
I mean, it was 26 years ago, so you may think there, but
Right.
it's here.
Okay. We did play that during, communion?
I think so.
Yeah.
Either that or the candle lighting, I'm not sure. But
Yeah. And then I sang Twyla Paris' song, The Child Inside.
Right.
And the only reason we're not playing either one of those, we could play it and get away with it on YouTube, but you can't on Facebook. And
Right.
so unfortunately Facebook will be deleted if we go ahead and play it.
Delete the video or it'll be silent in that portion.
Oh, it will be silent at this point?
It would be if we played those songs.
Huh.
Sometimes they either flag the video where it's not posted, or they will silence the audio in that
Gotcha.
portion of the video.
Okay. Yeah. So we actually had a lot of singing. Randall sang his song, and then I sang to him, and then when we lit the candles and we did this other stuff, that other song, we had our friend do sign language to it. It was really cool. So we were a wedding with sign language at it too, so it was kind of cool. Our friend Leanne, she actually teaches for the deaf blind, and anyway, she wanted to do the music. However, she did that, so I don't know, because I don't know sign language, but it was cool. And we did videotape it, but the problem is it's on videotape, and so we couldn't show you it. Otherwise, it would have been cool to show you some of the ceremony. So what did you guys think? Did you guys like the show, or is it too self-aggrandizing to talk about our marriage for our anniversary? But, and Denise, I don't know if you're still there watching on Facebook, but hi if you are, because I saw that you put a heart in there as well. Oh. One of the things, the delay. Okay, so tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to do part 2 of the marketing of homosexuality to America. And we're going to look at the tactic of jamming, Jamming, and maybe another tactic too, but we're not sure. I'll have to see as I put it together. All right, so, and thank you, Tommy. I know it's it really is. It really is a sweet story. And we actually had some turbulent, I shared earlier that we were separated at, 3 years into our marriage for 8 months, and went through a lot of counseling. And, and there was 12 marriages between our original parents. So we give God the glory for the fact that we didn't get divorced, and the Lord helped us to break that generational curse. So, and it's worked. That's why when people, say what they say about Randall and me and our marriage and how they admire it and stuff, I'm always touched, because I am very aware of how broken we were. Me in particular. You don't come into a marriage having been sexually abused most of your life, and and hated by your mother, and watching violence and divorce, and anger your whole life, and go into a marriage with a really sweet guy and then treat him like crap initially. You don't do that. And then years later go, oh my gosh, yeah, I know who I was when he married me. And like I said on Instagram, if you love me today, it's because of him.
Oh, and I was going to say ill-equipped, but I'll say unequipped to deal with any kind of thing like that, and I'm thankful for your patience, the Lord's patience with me, and godly counsel that helped us through that patch. Mm-hmm. His grace really is sufficient, and His strength is perfected in weakness.
And you know what? I know, now I'm making Tommy cry. Sorry. I'm making myself cry. Well, just because you know how it is, right? And I have to tell you that, I share it, in real brokenness, honestly, because so many people give up. And, we've shared this before numerous times in our marriage in the past. When we were in marriage counseling, there was one pivotal, I always say that word wrong, pivotal session with Karen, who was our therapist, where she told me she said, don't harden your heart. But the other thing she wanted me to do is give Randall a hug. And I'm like, I ain't giving you no hug, I mean, I was not nice. I was, my mother incarnate, which is not that's saying a lot, right? To me, to actually say that I was like my mother is not a good thing, because that was thing. But Karen, she exhorted me as a mother in the faith. She actually happened to be a pastor's wife, and I have to say that she told me, give him a hug. And then the other thing she told me was, she said, sometimes, and maybe somebody needs to hear this, right? She said, sometimes, in marriage, people get right up here to where they are at the point where they're about
just
ready
before the summit.
Right, they're about ready to make the breakthrough and get over and work through the issue, and they give up right there. And that's where we were. Because
you can't see over the top, and you're looking up. You don't know that you're near the summit. If you've ever walked up a hill or climbed a mountain or something like that, you know that even though you're right toward the top, you still can't see over, and it still looks like you don't know how far there is to go. Yeah, and she's right. I think many people get just within inches of the summit, but they get discouraged because it's been a hard climb, and then they forget it. I can't do this, and they retreat instead of going just a little bit more to victory.
So that, that was a real lesson. And of course, as a marriage counselor, I did that for a number of years. I always exhorted my clients because, because I know in general, I have to be honest, I usually sided with the man in counseling because I know women. And I knew me, and I knew the pattern.
Experientially.
I knew the pattern that I did, and I could recognize the pattern at that point. And I exhorted my clients who were in that same situation to knock it off. Don't do it. Don't harden your heart. I mean, and that's honestly the number one thing. That's, Moses was allowed to give a certificate of divorce because they hardened their heart. If you don't harden your heart in marriage and you allow the Lord to work through that brokenness, he can bring healing through it. And if we had given up 3 years into our marriage, number one, Bible News Radio would never have been born. Number two, some people who watch this show would have never heard the gospel and gotten saved, at least not through the show, because there would be no show. Our lives would have been completely different. And, so I'm just saying, I had no idea that God was going to do what he did. And, and so it's so cool. It's so cool. I mean, and Randall's, he's never hit me, never called me a name. Probably wanted to hit me a couple times, but he never did. And I can tell you that he is the best husband in the whole entire universe, just so you know. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, just saying. I'll pay you after. No, just
All
kidding.
right.
And he's funny. I didn't think he was funny before, but now I do. I had to come around to it. I always thought I was the funny one. Oh, you need to hear this? Good. Well, you know what? Don't give up. I mean, do not give up. And the thing is, when we were separated, I'll just share this because this is important. When we were separated, our therapist actually gave us tools to use, right? Just like when I was a therapist, I gave my clients tools. And we did exactly what she told us to do. We did the 10 steps of communication. She told us go out on dates, don't talk about your problems, and then, talk about your problem when you're on the phone. And if you get too heated, hang up, be polite, just, and don't go away. Hey, Annette, sorry, my bad. Didn't mean to mess your name up, but anyway. And Pastor, nice to see you come in here too. Anyway, we did what she said, and it worked. And that's what most people don't do. They don't do what they're told to from people who know what they're talking about. And if you do what you're told and you actually work it, like, alcoholics do, if you do the steps, it works, right? I mean, keep coming back, it works, right? Because it works. Do we fight now? Occasionally. You'll see it sometimes on the show, but not much. I think we understand each other pretty well. But
And my little quip of wisdom is whether it comes to marital conflict or marital success, that if one will not, then two cannot.
yeah,
So
yeah.
think about that and consider it.
Yep. Any other comments or questions before we go? Because I'm not sure what we're doing. We might be, we're not sure yet. We're not sure if we're going to go. I think we're going to order in. I'm not sure. I don't even remember what we did. I do remember that we got so many gifts and we were so exhausted. Like after we got married, and it was hotter than you would know. Massively hot. It was super hot.
I think it was only 104.
Oh, it was hot. But we didn't have air conditioning at the church.
Yeah.
I was wearing this big, heavy wedding dress. So.
Yeah, it wasn't a summer dress. It was.
No, it had layers.
Layers.
And by the way, in my wedding pictures, you see the thing, and then the veil is behind me, but the veil was in front of me when I walked down the aisle.
Oh.
Although you didn't see that part because the pictures that were taken were actually taken after, it was lifted up. But it was very traditional what we did.
Yeah, and unfortunately, in transit, most of the cards got separated from the gifts, so we didn't know who gave what.
I know. That was probably the biggest faux pas ever, not thanking anybody for their gifts.
Yeah, but we didn't know what to think. We could have just generic thank you for the gift. Rather than say thank you for the toaster or the salad bowl, just thank you for your thoughtful gift. And if they didn't send one, then oh well. I guess better than
there was only
not to say anything at all.
There was
so.
only one person who was mad. But she needed to build a bridge and get
Yeah,
over
so
it.
there's if you're for newlyweds out there and your gifts are going to be transferred, who's ever going to transport them, make sure you use packing tape to tape the cards to the boxes before they move. Because they're just tucked under the, ribbon or something like that, or just sitting on top. They're not going to stay together, just so you know.
Yep. And the silverware goes down in the dishwasher. Or not. Maybe not. I don't remember. That was one of our biggest fights, though, was over silverware. Which part goes down? The actual part you eat off, or the part does it stick up? We got in a huge fight over that. True story. I mean, volatile fight. Yeah. It's so cute to see Jamie Grace, who was just married about 4 months ago, and her watching her give video marriage advice after 4 months. It's so cute.
Yeah.
26 years later, I think I have a little cred now. I feel more confident. I could speak to it a little bit better. But
Yeah. Well, daylight's burning.
yeah.
So.
Anyway, so should we do the video one more time and then the song and then go out, or what? Because some people
No.
didn't see it yet. No, you don't want to do it. Okay. All right. Well, then I will submit to your godly authority, and we shall just say goodbye until tomorrow, Lord willing.
Sounds a good plan.
So, thank you all for supporting Bible News Radio with your gifts, your prayers, and also Legal Shield, and our sponsor Ariel, and everything else. So, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys supporting us together. Randall says, well, it's my show. It's not really my show. It's our show. It's actually God's show. But we're both the stars, not just me. Even though I know I'm the front person. Randall's like, shut up now, okay. All right, so be bold, people. Stand up and go with God because he loves you. And hopefully this show has been encouragement to you somehow. I hope so. So just let me know, okay? And we'll see you tomorrow.